Hello, and thank you so much for joining me for the podcast of The True Power from Within. I do pray each and every day that this podcast touches you in the most amazing and encouraging way. So, God put something in my spirit this morning that I wanted to share, but he hasn't put it all together. So, I said, God, I don't know where you're leading me with this, but I hope that you give me the words to say, because I'm just guessing that there's somebody that needs to hear this morning. There's somebody that excuse me, that is struggling in some areas of shame or limiting beliefs or fear or guilt, or unworthiness. And so I just asked God if he would lead me in this, because I have no idea where this is going. Okay. But I was listening to a podcast this morning, and, this is kind of where it stemmed from, but it's a quote by an anonymous person. And it says that on your last day, if the person you are met the person you could have become, what would that look like? So here's how this is the perspective that I put it in my mind when this was, kind of triggered something in me this morning. So here's how I think. We on our last day, we pass away, we transition over, and we get to heaven, and God has a room, right? He's got a room, and he says, okay, this is your room. And you walk in, and it's like, I picture it like my mud room, right? It's got like shelves on both sides, right? And on one side, it's all the blessings that we could have gotten, right? It's all the blessings that we passed up, or we did not live intentionally every day to receive, right? So it's all these blessings that God has stored up for us, that because we did not pursue, or we allowed the guilt or the unworthiness or the shame or the limiting beliefs or what other people say about us to hinder our becoming, that we missed out on these blessings. And then on the other side, we see all of these traits and all of these gifts and all this purpose that God had stored up for us, right? That we did not use in our life. And it kind of brought me to the story of the prodigal son, right? We all know the story of the prodigal son. It's a very popular story in the Bible. And it is about a son that decides, he wants all of his inheritance, right? He wants it now. He wants to do what he wants with it. And he gets his inheritance, and he just goes rogue, right? He goes out, he blows the money. He ends up broke. He ends up in a hog's pen. All of these things, right? So let's compare that to today, to our life, right? So let's think about this. I, could have been called the prodigal daughter, right? Because I, was in trouble at a very young age. I was very, very rebellious against everybody that was in my life. I ended up an addict. I was a young unmarried mother. I was convicted of I was a convicted felon. I ended up in prison, like all of these things, right? So I could have been considered that, right? And I think where it's so relatable to us is that when he realizes, like, all, my dad's, he's saying my father's servants are living better than me, right? They're not worrying about how they're going to eat or if they're going to have enough to eat. And here I am eating with the hogs, right? And he says that I'm just going to go back to my father and just tell him, that, I am unworthy of his love. Could he just let me be one of his servants? How many times do you do something in your life and you consider yourself unworthy because you're ashamed, or you feel guilty, or you feel like you're not good enough, right? So this is kind of how the prodigal son was feeling, right? But then his father saw him from so far away. right? And this is God looking at us and saying, my child is lost, right? My child has gone in a different direction, and my child is coming back to me, right? My child has gotten sober. She did, and she was in prison, but yet she is, my child is healing, right? I have a purpose and a plan for her, and I know that she's going to do great things. And we hear all of these things and these promises from God, but then yet on the inside we do not believe it. In fact, we allow other people in our lives to dictate us. We know that we've come so far. We know, even when everybody else doesn't know, we know the battles from the inside that we've had to fight. We know the forgiveness. We know the battles that we've had to face, right? We know the battles that we're still facing, right? We're so fearful to step into that purpose. We're so fearful to let go of the pain. We feel so bad about ourselves, and we talk bad about ourselves, and we have so many limiting beliefs from the past, and we're holding on to so many things when the Father is saying, I am here, right? Come to me. But in the world that we live in, where we use social media and we gossip about people and we talk about people, and I want to tell you something right now. What other people say about you is none of your business. When people try to shame you or talk about you, okay, and you know that you've come so far in your life, and you know that God has healed you in so many areas, we cannot allow others to dictate how we're going to feel about ourselves, okay? And if you find yourself, I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to be real honest, and this may cut like a knife going in, but I'm going to say this anyways. If you find yourself talking about people all the time, then you really need to take a look at yourself, because there's some things that you need to deal with. See, when people talk about us and people judge us, it has nothing to do with us. It has to do with something that they are dealing with, or they need to deal with, or that they have been avoiding for such a long time. And you see this in the prodigal son. You see this in the story, because the brother gets so angry. Like, why? Why would you kill the best calf that we have for this man that went and spent all your money and all your assets? Or why would you do all of these great things for this woman that was an addict, or she was in prison, or she was a convicted felon, or she was a bad mom, right? Why would you do such good things for her? Because she's not worthy. We allow others in our lives to tell us and dictate how we should feel about ourselves, or how our purpose should be, or what we should do, and how we should go through this, and what business we should have, or we should work here, or we should work there, or we're a bad mom because of this, or we're a bad dad because of this. It's not about what other people say, because God has shown you compassion. God has shown you forgiveness. He has showered you with his grace. He showered you with his mercy, right? So for others to dictate who we are and how worthy we are in the sight of God is not our business. And in fact, it says that in Luke chapter 15, verse 31, it says, Son, he said to him, you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But we have to celebrate and rejoice, because this brother of yours was dead, and he is alive again. He was lost, but now he is found. You have been through the trenches in your life. You have been through trauma. You've been through pain. You have been through healing. You have been through sickness. You have been through so many things in your life. And God says, I'm celebrating you. We are rejoicing, because you were once dead, but you are now alive. God has breathed life back into your body. He's breathed life back into your home. He has breathed life back into your purpose. He is saying to you today, it's time to stop allowing the world to dictate how you're going to feel about yourself. It's time for you to become that person that I have intended for you to be. You were not here by mistake. You didn't go through the addiction. You didn't go through prison. You didn't go through CPS. You didn't go through losing your kids. You didn't go through losing your parents. You didn't go through all of these things for nothing. I have a bigger purpose for you. But what I need you to do is put away the limiting beliefs that you can't do it. I need you to put away the lack of, or the lack of self-worth. I need you to start speaking life into yourself, because I didn't bring you this far to leave you now. And I didn't bring you this far for you to stay right here. I have so much purpose for you. I have so many plans for you. I have so many blessings stored up for you here in heaven, but I need you to stop allowing other people to dictate who you are supposed to be. See, a lot of times people will laugh at you, or they don't believe in you, or when God changes your life for the better, they say, oh, she's not going to make it. She's going to go right back to where she was. You know, I thrive on stuff like that now. Because when you really get into it and you really look back on your life and you say, wow, that was not anybody that did that for me but God. Because honestly, I should be dead right now. I should be a statistic right now. But God says, no, I've got more for her to do in this life. I am going to save her by my grace and my mercy and my healing and my forgiveness. She will be saved. She will walk in her purpose. She will have all the blessings that I have stored up for her. She will be a life changer. She will be an empowerer. She will be a speaker. She will be a coach. See, God has placed so much purpose and vision in your life, but sometimes we're so distracted by the things that other people tell us or that we tell ourselves that we fall short of walking in all that God says that we can have. We get caught up in the hardships. We get caught up in the pain. We get caught up in all of these things in our daily routine, and going to work and taking care of our kids and trying to be the best wife or the best dad or the best husband or whatever. We get so caught up in these things that we forget that God has stored up a purpose for us. We have to fight through the fear. We have to fight through the limiting beliefs. We have to fight through the lack of self-worth, because the word of God says you were once dead, but now you were alive, and we are celebrating because you were once lost and now you are found. It's time for you to step out of the feelings of unworthiness, because you are so worthy. God has put you in a place of miracles in your life, because you're asking for a miracle and you're praying and you're saying, God, I need you right now, and I can't do this on my own. And, so-and-so's talking about me, and, I know that I've come so far, but why are they talking about me so much? Why are they saying so many bad things about me when I've done nothing but prove myself to everyone? I've been sober for years. I've been, I'm trying to be a good mom. I'm trying to be a good wife. I'm trying to walk in my purpose. I'm trying to run a business. I'm trying to do all of these things. But why are people talking about me? See, sometimes where we get distracted is that God is preparing a table for you. You're not going through this criticism. You're not going through this pain. You're not going through all of the things that you're going through right now for nothing. God is trying to take you to another level, right? But he needs to prepare you for the next level. Because when you get to the next level, the talk is going to get harder. And when I mean talk, I mean the people that talk about you it's going to get worse. Because when God begins to do big things in your life, people begin to see the light that is shining from the inside of you. And people begin to see the light that's shining on the inside of you, and it begins to allow them to see their defects. It allows them to see that they have talked so bad about you for so long, but yet it's not working. Because you've made the choice to constantly stay intentional every day, and you're constantly becoming the person that God has intended for you to be. Even though you don't feel worthy right now, you're going to get there. Just keep pushing. Even though you feel like you have imposter syndrome, or maybe you feel like you're not skinny enough, or you're not pretty enough, or you don't have the proper education for it, or you're not qualified. God says you are qualified. You have everything you need on the inside of you to be the person that I have said that you could be. It's all about becoming every day, being intentional every day. Most of us in this life have been the prodigal son or the prodigal daughter at one point in time. But do you see the miracles that's happened in your life? Do you see the healing that's happened in your life? Do you see that sometimes even when people talk about you, God elevates you to another level, even though you don't see that you deserve it, or you have imposter syndrome? And that's because God says, I have more for you in this life than what you can imagine. I have so many blessings to pour out upon you and upon your life and upon your family and upon your kids. I have so much favor stored up for you, but I need you to stop allowing other people or the world to dictate your purpose. I need you to step out, because the very pain that you have been through was also the very transformational moments in your life. We go through pain, and then we go through a transformation. We go through a transformation, and then we begin to see the change happen in our lives. We begin to see ourselves evolve. We begin to see God's beauty begin to emerge, even in the midst of so many hurtful things, right? So much pain, so many things are going wrong in our life. We feel like we're in the wilderness. We feel like, we don't have enough. But if we see, God is always providing, He's always protecting, He's always bringing provision, even if we don't feel like it's enough. And it's not our job to fight through all of this alone. God says, I'm here, but you got to give it to me, because I can't fight the battle if you're still trying to hold on to it. I cannot fulfill your purpose in your life if you won't let go of what I've been trying to take from you for all these years. I can't heal you from the unforgiveness unless you're willing to let go of it and forgive. I can't help you start that business if you keep telling me I don't have the money to do it, or I'm not qualified to do it. Because everything that God has placed on the inside of you from your past is a part of your purpose. It's a part of what God is trying to do in your life. It's your ministry. It's your business. It is your talent. It is your skills. If you look back on your life, all of the things that you've done in your life, there was for a purpose. Because it's either going to teach you something, or it's going to leave you with a lesson or an experience that you grow from. So each stepping stone is just another step closer to your purpose. It's another step closer to what God has for you. It's another step closer to that business, or to that blessing, or to that financial breakthrough, or to that forgiveness, or to that healing. It's all there for you. And I don't even know who needs to hear this, because like I said, I prayed to God, because He gave me this. He gave me the scripture. He gave me the quote, but I don't know who needs to hear this today. I don't, because usually in my mind I have this all planned out, and then God gives me the words to say. But today I didn't have it all planned out, because I said, I don't know where I'm going with this. And I prayed and I said, God, I wish that you would just direct me, because I don't know. But I know that God will allow this message to hit the ears that needs to hear it. It's time for you to step out and stop talking to yourself about how bad and how unworthy you are because of what somebody else has said about you. It's not about what others say about you, it's what God says about you. And God is saying that you are wonderfully made. God is saying that you have blessings here in heaven that are stored up, that you are my beautiful child, you're my beautiful daughter, you're my beautiful son. You're so worthy, you're so powerful. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And that he is saying that all things work together for the good of those who love me and are called according to my purpose. He has said all these promises to you. But somehow we fall from that, or we don't stay focused on that. Life is hard. Life is unfair. Life will knock us down. We have to get back up. We've got to fall forward. If we fall forward, just keep falling forward. You're going to fail. Success is not a smooth path. You're going to fail, and you're going to fail, and you're going to fail again. But it's about failing forward. It's about trusting God in the process, because I was just talking about this the other day. It's a process. You've got to process the pain. You've got to process the healing. You got to process the purpose. Everything is a process. But what I'm going to tell you is stop processing the lack of self-worth. Stop processing the pain. Stop processing what people are saying about you. Start processing what God says about you. Start processing the fact that you have been healed. Start processing the fact that how far he has brought you. Start processing the fact of the miracles that he's done in your life, because you're not here by mistake. You're not here by mistake. You're here on purpose. You're here for a mission. You're here to help someone. You're here for a ministry. You're here for a business. You're here because God has put you here for a purpose. And I want you to know that even though you feel like the prodigal son, you feel like the black sheep, you feel like you have imposter syndrome, or you're not good enough, or you're not qualified. But this is what I want to tell you today. Just like it says in the scripture, but we had to celebrate and rejoice because your brother was dead and is alive again. He was lost and now he is found. This is a day to celebrate. It's a day to celebrate you. It's a day to celebrate your freedom, your healing, your recovery, your sobriety, your self-worth, your business, your life, your children. It's time to celebrate and rejoice because of the miracles that God has done in your life. Stop looking 10 years down the road. Stop looking 10 years backwards. Start living here, now, intentionally. Just trusting God in every moment of your day and saying, God, I am grateful for. God, thank you for. God, I know you're doing. God, I trust you. Because even though you're going through a hard season, this hard season is not for nothing. Even though you feel like everything is coming against you right now, God is on the other side of that. And he is fighting the battle for you. He says, just trust me in the battle. Give it to me. Because the longer you hold on to it, the longer that you're going to have to fight this battle on your own. He's saying it's time to let go. It's time to surrender. Surrender all the negative self-talk. Surrender others dictating your life. Surrender the pain. Surrender the hurt. Surrender the addiction. Surrender it. Because he's trying to take you to another level. He's trying to show you some things in your life so that you can walk in the purpose and the plan. I don't want you to come to the end of your life and meet the person that you could have become, or that God intended you to become, but you're the same person as you were 20 years ago. So think about this today. Ask yourself the question: what if you come to the end of your life, and life is short? Life is very, very short. You come to the end of your life and you meet the person that you could have become. Is that person going to match the person that you are? Or will that be two different people? It's your choice. It's our choice to stay in a constant state of becoming every day. It's our choice to live an intentional life every day. It's our choice if we're going to stay focused on what God says, or are we going to stay focused on what the world says? We can't serve God wholeheartedly and try to keep up with the Joneses at the same time. So today, I am encouraging you to stop looking for all the negative things about yourself and in your life. And I want you to start affirming yourself in all of the things that are good about you. I am powerful. I am worthy. I am beautiful. God says that I can have this. God says I am forgiven. God says that I am healed. God says he will give me wisdom. God says that all things work together for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purpose. God says I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. God says I was lost, but now I am found. God says that my cup shall runneth over. God says all of these things. Start affirming yourself in what God says about you. Get out of your own way. Stop self-sabotaging yourself and your dreams and your goals because you've been in the same place for so long and you can't see anything else. It's time to fight your way out of that. It's time for you to start positively talking to yourself out of that situation. Because you were once lost and now you are found, and it is time to rejoice and celebrate all that you are in this life. Because God is trying to take you to another level. But he says, I can't take you to another level if you're distracted. I can't take you to another level if you cannot get your mindset right. I can't take you to another level if you have a heart of anger or resentment or bitterness or unforgiveness. I need you to clear all of those things out. I need you to clear all of those things out. And I need you to get focused on living intentionally every day and in a constant state of becoming who God has created you to be. Don't allow others to dictate what God says you can have. You choose the legacy that you want to live. You choose the life that you want to live. God has a vision and a purpose and a plan for your life that is so much bigger than what you can see right at this very moment. But I encourage you today to walk in that. Believe that you are beautiful. Believe that you are powerful. Believe that you can do all things. Believe that God is moving in your life. Believe and have faith and know that He is doing incredible things for you. So I don't know who needs to hear this today, but it's time for you to step into that purpose. It's time for you to step into that life that God says that you can have. It's time for you to stop holding on to the things that are no longer serving you. Step into it. Step into your purpose. Step into the belief that God has got something for you. Step into obedience. Step into faith. Don't waste another day living by what the world says you are. Start right now. Start today stepping into who God says you are, so that you can live out the purpose and the blessings and the life that God says that you can have. So I don't know who needed to hear this today, but I do hope and pray that it touches the ears that it is supposed to hear, or that is supposed to hear this word today. And I do hope and pray that you have an absolutely amazing day and a great weekend. And I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.